Hey guys, I want to do another demo video for you guys today. What I'm going to be demoing is this amp right here. This is a 1995 Mesa Boogie dual rectifier Tremoverb. It is a combo, but it's going to run through this Marshall cabinet. That is a Marshall 1960A slant top cabinet. It has two Celestion G12T75s and two Celestion Vintage 30s. I'm going to do that. Now what I'm wanting to do today, as you'll notice, a little different the way I'm starting out, but the idea is that the only demos on YouTube for rectifiers, you're going to get one of two things. Okay, you're going to get Mesa Boogie's factory demos, which are good, but they don't cover a whole bunch. And then you get the guys who are just doing the metal and 7-string and drop C and all that stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this amp and I'm going to run it through all the modes. I'm going to run it through the different rectifier settings, power settings, and I'm going to try to do a comprehensive demo of what this amp will really do. I hope you guys enjoy. Alright guys, here's the first one. This is the clean channel using the spongy power setting and the tube rectification. Here's the clean again. This time it is a bold power setting with tube rectification. Clean channel now. I've got the solid state rectifier on and the power set to bold. Okay, so this time doing something a little different. This is also the clean channel. I have got it on the spongy power setting with the tube rectifiers, but now I've got the gain maxed on the clean channel. So I'm going to play. It's going to sound pretty heavy, but then I'll roll the volume and show you how responsive this thing is. I'll take the volume back about halfway. Now the volume is rolled back to 2. Okay, now to the neck pickup, and I'm just going to go ahead and put the volume on about half on the neck, and so we got. volume back to about 2. Okay, and so now moving on. This amplifier, most of your rectifiers have clean, vintage, pushed. This one has a mode called blues, and that's only available on the Tremoverb. Pretty interesting mode. It's actually got a lot of gain for blues, but it's a pretty good sounding mode. So what I've got now is the blues mode set with the tube rectification and the spongy power setting. Okay, and so this time blues mode again, bungee, bold power setting with tube rectification. The bass on that thing through this video, but man, it is just, it's shaking every wall in this place. It's fantastic. Okay, and finally blues mode with the bold power setting and the solid state rectification. so the last thing on the blues setting at this point, what I want to do is go ahead and same settings as before, blues mode, bold power and solid state rectification, but this time the gain is maxed. Turn the volume down to halfway on the guitar. I think that should give us a pretty good classic rock type thing. And then we roll the guitar volume back to 2, and that should give us even better on that. Argue that you could do some older styles of metal with that as well. So it's in there, and remember again, this is called blues mode. Okay, and so now I'm on the vintage high gain mode. For this one, I'm starting out the same as the others. I've got the spongy power setting and the tube rectification. This one should be good for kind of 80s type rock as well. same settings with the vintage mode, and now I'm on the bold power with tube rectification. Okay, so now vintage high gain, bold power setting, solid state rectification. Okay, so now I am on the same thing. This is vintage high gain, bold power, solid state rectification, but now the gain is about 3/4 of the way up. So this is pretty mean, and as you should be able to hear, it's starting to get a lot of hum and hiss back there. So, and keeping in mind the volume is about halfway up, so it's quite loud too. So that's pretty nice. Okay, so finally we're on to modern. This is the one that the rectifier is known for. Now, I am going to do this the same way. Right now it's on modern mode, you have got the spongy power and the tube rectification. Now this isn't a setting that I use at all, but I wanted to put it in this video just so you could see what it's about. To me, that almost has a mark quality rather than a rectifier quality. It sort of loses a lot of that real big bottom end, but it keeps it tight and it gives it that kind of woofy sound. So it's actually not bad. You know, it's definitely certainly something that you could utilize in a lot of different ways. Okay, now we're in modern bold power with tube rectification. And the first thing you're going to notice here is the bottom end really comes back. And this is the tube rectifiers. If you notice, the note sort of blooms a little bit when I hit it. It's not just bonk, it's sort of bonk, you know, kind of thing. So I like that. The tubes do that when you put it on solid state, which you'll see in a second. It doesn't do it the same way. So that's a definitely good thing. Alright, so this is it, full enchilada, as it were. This is modern, bold, solid state diode rectification. This is the rectifier sound. Okay, there's one more thing I want to show you with this amplifier, and this is what I think most people would consider an absolutely essential ingredient to the rectifier tone, and so far I haven't used it. That would be this, a Tube Screamer. This particular one obviously is the Tube Screamer Mini from Ibanez, but you can use the TS9, TS808, Maxon 808. I mean, you know, there's a million of these things. Just find the voice that you like, but for me, this is the right one. And it seems a little odd, I know, to take a super high gain amplifier and add distortion, but that's the key. You don't. On these knobs, this one's the tone knob. So this one affects the brightness and darkness. Personally, I like it just all the way down, but that's just me. Then you have over here the level. Now this knob is the hotness of the signal that goes into the amplifier. Max that one out all the way up. The big one here, that's your gain. This one adds the distortion and so forth. That one's all the way down. So no gain, full level, and the tone you adjust, you know, just however bright you want it. But this pedal right here is what really makes the rectifier, you know, makes it its best, because it tightens up the bass, it restores some of the mids and the highs that are lost just from the nature of the circuit. This one right here is fantastic. It's cost $90, made in Japan. It's great. So this is the one I chose out of a whole stack of them. You know, you pick your own, but whatever you do, if you have a rectifier, use one of these. Okay, so now I have got it as it was, modern, bold, solid state diode rectification, but now I've got that boost pedal in there, so you should immediately hear the difference. That it has a little bit of brightness to the character, and what that does, if you're in a band, that's going to let you cut through the mix a lot better than just running the amp by itself. Also, it now has a tight, very percussive bottom end, so this thing is just an instant response, start, stop, just like it should. So really the boost, you got to have it, in my opinion. If you're going to play heavy music with a rectifier, you got to have a boost. Just to show you, this is now with the volume on 2. with the boost still on. About 3. Okay, and let's see here. Volume about 5 on the guitar now gets a real, what I think is a nice 80s Well, I'm gonna do one more thing for you guys, and that'll wrap it up. Okay, well, here's the last thing I wanted to do for you guys, and this is me being stereotypical. Okay, so I have got an Ibanez RG. It's a Prestige, by the way. If you can get one, do it. These are freaking amazing. It has got the DiMarzio Crunch Lab Liquifier Petrucci pickup set. It's tuned to drop C sharp, so I'm going to do a typical rectifier demo now. This guitar is so much meaner than that Les Paul as far as tone, and I want to mention before I start playing, I have not touched a single knob on this amplifier. So the last section you heard the Les Paul, this is the same setting, but this is the difference, is how sensitive a rectifier is to the instrument you're using, which is definitely a good thing. As you can see, the Tremoverb, and by extension all 2-channel rectifiers, will definitely get you there. A lot of speculation online that I've read about these amplifiers. Oh, you gotta have a 3-channel, blah blah blah. No, you don't. 2-channel, modern, boosted. It's everything that a rectifier is supposed to be. like it a lot. Okay, so at this point I'm going to give you a little commentary. If you don't want to listen to that, you can hang up now. Okay, so forgive me for any shaky camera work at this point. I'm holding it like a selfie stick so I can show you guys what I got going on here. And you'll notice my house is very, very Christmassy. That's my wife. She's awesome. Decorates us up for Christmas. Very, very festive. All right, so anyway, on the amp. Like I said, this is a Tremoverb. Look at there, isn't it pretty? All right, and as far as settings go, like I say, so you've got 4 modes: clean, vintage, blues, modern. And it's kind of funny how they did that, where you have vintage and modern on different channels, unlike the newer ones where they're on the same. But what's cool is that you can run, if you want, if you don't need clean or whatever, you can have vintage on one channel, modern on the other. You can switch back and forth, or you can run, you know, your high gain on vintage and say blues, you know, for whatever. So anyway, also I did not demonstrate it, but it has what's called channel cloning, which allows you to make this channel just like this one, or vice versa. So basically, you could have modern on both, or you could have vintage on both if you clone it. But what's interesting is that when you run modern cloned, so you're on the orange channel, which is the top one, with the mod, you know, with it on, it'd have to be on vintage, but that would actually be modern. But it actually sounds different. It doesn't sound just like modern on the other channel. It has its own voice, so adds a whole new level of sounds that you can get. All right, so I wanted to show you my settings. Okay, so the top knobs there, that is for the clean and vintage. So you see the gain's about 11. Treble right there, just short of noon. The mids are boosted, and keep in mind I have this EQ'd for a nice clean sound. So lots of bass all the way over to 3 o'clock. Presence way back about 10 to 11-ish. Reverb is was on for the clean part, but I turned it off when I did the vintage. But I always use reverb on my clean, and this is a really good reverb. Master volume's half. I am not using that, because on this amplifier, when the loop is on, the amp sounds like dookie. It takes away the bottom end and the definition, and I went into the amp, I did a mod on the loop, and it still doesn't work right. Over here is your tremolo, which I did not use because I never use it. I'm not a tremolo guy. I suppose this is a decent tremolo for what it is, but I just don't use the thing. And you got your switches. Alright, so back over here. This is on the high gain channel, so I have got the gain at around 1, treble about 1, mids almost smack in the middle. And listen, mids, use them. It's important, because without mids the guitar doesn't cut through. You take an amp that's as dark as a rectifier and you take that knob to 0, guess what? Nobody's going to hear you, not even yourself. Alright, bass up about 1, and here's a cool trick I read online. So you, again, treble, that's kind of high for treble, don't you think, about 1 o'clock? But look at the presence. What presence? That knob's almost all the way off. I turn it to the point where I hit an open note and turn the presence to the point to where I just hear the slightest bit of crunchy kind of fizziness come into the tone, and I leave it right there. Any higher, this thing will get bright, it will get obnoxious, especially with the treble up. Now you of course can balance those, do whatever you want. If you want it bright, run it higher, but for me, that's about right. Alright, and reverb is off. Master volume, that was only like 9 o'clock, guys. I'm telling you, this amp is stupid. It is louder than anything I have ever played through, and that includes the Marshalls that I've had, and that's saying a lot. But honestly, 9 o'clock, you can feel every note all the way through the floor. The walls make a buzzing sound every time you hit a chord. It is just great, and I can't really imagine playing it louder than this. Okay, and up to the top, there's my cheapo tuner, and again, boost. Okay, levels all the way up, tone all the way down, gain all the way down, but it's on. Anytime I'm playing this amp, it is always on. I have the clean is even EQ'd so that it itself uses the boost, because if you don't, then you're going to end up tap dancing, and what basically happens there is you got to hit 2 switches if you want to go to clean or if you want to go to distortion, and well, I just don't want to do that. So I EQ'd the clean so that I can leave the overdrive pedal on all the time, never touch it, and then I can just switch back and forth, and the clean will sound good with the overdrive pedal on. Okay, so that's how I have mine set. You know, hopefully this video will help you guys out. I definitely, you know, I do these videos because my arm's getting tired. I'm switching. All right, so I do these videos because I want to help. I'm not trying to get YouTube famous or any of that. I just want to put them out there because there's a lack of information on a lot of gear, and like I said, the rectifier is really one of the worst, because when I was looking at getting one, the only thing I could find was some 7-string drop C sludgy stuff, and that just didn't tell me, you know. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, well, that's not the only sound I want. I can't confine myself to that one tone. And since every rectifier video is that same tone, it sort of leads you to believe that that's what they sound like. And while they can, hopefully I have demonstrated to you that they can do a lot more than just that sound. So if you are thinking about one, if you think, well, I really want the rectifier sound, but I play classic rock too, or I play blues or whatever, this can be your 1 amp. Without a doubt, it absolutely can be the 1 amp that will work for you pretty much for everything. So in my opinion, just absolutely one of the greatest amps ever. I have, I think, fully converted from Marshall to Mesa, which is would have been a sin to me before. But now that I've actually gotten to spend time with one, I think it's just great. So finally, just the last parting word, I just want to say this is the meanest, fattest, heaviest amp I've ever played, and I think it definitely lives up to the hype and is worth the price tag. So anyway, any questions or anything, comment. I will respond to you, and thank you again for watching.